he's skilled enough to get to this point, but it is his first Legacy tournament.
And Chris Andersen, the fun police.
Oh, the turn
Ancient
one. Ancient Tomb into Chalice on 1, and if Chris didn't have any idea what he was up against, he's going to be happy that that's how he started, despite the fact that he essentially started with a shock land.
All right, so I'm not sure if John knows how this Chalice of the Void works, but it's the first Legacy tournament.
Right, exactly.
So he might just be like, all right.
He casts the Vexing Devil.
It's not going to do anything else.
It just doesn't do anything. It just gets countered. Right? He can cast them. They just get countered. That's how it works. So Seat of the Synod for Chris, and he says go. At this point, he has successfully shut down a good portion of John's deck.
Yeah, let's see what John has in his hand that he actually does something. There's Flame Rift and Fire Blast.
Yeah, also...
so Flame Rift does 4 damage to both players.
Yeah, Chris Andersen
favors the deck with more burn.
Chris should be at 14 because he took 2 from the Ancient Tomb. On turn 1. John at 15 after the Fetch Land and then the Flame Rift.
Baleful Strix.
Draws into another Baleful Strix, I believe.
Plane Chase All-Star, Baleful Strix.
Yeah.
A lot of people's favorite card.
It's a really good card.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really everything you want it to be. It attacks, it defends, it kills things, and it draws cards. It all even has evasion. Not only does it attack, it has evasion, and it can. Oh, whoa! Yeah, that was weird. I had a dream that there was a Knight of the Reliquary on the board. Did I fall asleep?
Wake up, Joey. Wake up, Joey.
Sorry.
Here comes Burn Spells.
All right, Burn Spells.
And Baleful Strixes.
Yeah, there you see the Baleful Strix. Yeah, draws a card, has evasion, does a lot of awesome things, and in addition has really awesome art. Nils Ham, one of my favorite Magic artists of late, has a really cool kind of feel.
So here comes the Thopter Foundry,
which
that was really potent in his previous Magic Gets Burned. Just gaining enough life to keep him out of reach.
Yep, and things are looking real good for Chris at this point. Just having he's got pressure, just a tiny little bit of pressure, but now he's got a Thopter Foundry, which is going to give him access to 1, more pressure, and 2, more life.
All right, Hardcast Riftbolt takes Chris to 11. So at the end of turn, we're going to cash in his Seat of the Synod for a
penguin.
A penguin.
Or it's a Thopter, however you want to classify
I prefer to think of it as a penguin.
Yeah. It's like kind of got like a Thopter on its back. Even though it's really like a rocket, but you know.
Tezzeret, Agent of Bolus.
That's a good one. That's one we haven't seen. It saw play in Standard. In fact, Patrick Chapin top-8'd Pro Tour Paris. Yes. Way back, right after Tezzeret was first printed with a Tezzeret deck. But otherwise, it didn't see a lot of play.
Chalice of the Void becomes a 5/5.
Yeah, there you see Tezzeret, a 4-mana Planeswalker, starts with 3 loyalty. You can +1 it to find an artifact in your top 5. -1 it to make an artifact, a 5/5 artifact creature permanently, which is what he did there. Made Chalice of the Void into a 5/5 and swung in with it along with the Thopter and the Baleful Strix. And the -4 is target player loses X life and you gain X, where X is twice the number of artifacts you control. And right now, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, just 4 artifacts.
The penguin.
I counted the penguin, right? So 1, 2, 3, and then 4, because Tezzeret is not an artifact himself.
Correct.
So that's
going to
be
countered. I think John's just going to show, hey, look at all these 1-drops I had.
He's got like Chain Lightning, I think there's a
lightning bolt. You counter it.
I think he's
lightning bolt,
just
you
having
counter
fun. Look at all this burn I would have killed you with. And he passes the turn. Chris can just -4. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. He couldn't -4 Tezzeret. He didn't plus him last turn. But he's just going to die to actual creature damage. There's exactly 7 there to. Okay, so John actually is going to try to Fire Blast one of the guys, but Chris is going to Force of Will it, and I think we're going to Game 2 finally?
We are going to Game 2.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's playing a little sloppy, just assuming John was just like, hey, look at all these uncastables.
Right.
I'm going to concede, but he does try to Fire Blast a 1/1 in a last-ditch effort to stay alive.
Right.
But Chris Force of Will's there, and we're off to game.
Chris is thinking, I can't believe I've been matched up against Burn again. I think he's played against every Burn player in the room.
There's more than just two.
Well,
I saw.
I'm saying like this is round 6. I think he played more Burn opponents in between when he wasn't on camera. I don't know. I'm maybe exaggerating.
Chris Andersen, you may know him for his love of all things Elvish Visionary. Basically casting Artifact Elvish Visionary in the form of Baleful Strix.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Yeah, really became popular with his, ability to play the Elves combo deck.
What card is that? Thiel, Artful. That's one I don't know. Let's see if we can get our director to look this up since our internet is so bad.
Yeah, so
it looks like it's one of the old Portal
Elves player. Is also been known for his Enchantress combo, and this time he's just playing another unfair decks that are slow.
Right,
that's his theme basically.
This is my favorite deck I've seen today. Of course, he did well with it previously, but I mean today as we're watching, this is. I saw the list. I didn't actually see catch any of the coverage that particular weekend, so this is my first time getting to see it in action, and I'm really liking it. Also featuring those brand new turtle sleeves in the Liz Nugent Creature Feature Collection, or the Creature Collection actually. So you guys get a good look at those, and of course he's using the penguins as the penguin sleeves as tokens as well. So he's heavily featuring the Liz Nugent artwork. Put it on screen. You got it. Okay. So this card, just because
I have no idea what this is. I think this is a troll card.
So Thiel Artful Beauty, I guess originally maybe in a Portal set. I don't know.
Portal 3 Kingdoms, I would imagine.
Not one that I was aware of. It is a legendary creature, 1/1 for 4. Destroy target creature of your choice. That's interesting wording. Then destroy target creature of an opponent's choice. Activate this ability only during your turn before attackers are declared. So
basically, if your opponent show and tells, you can put this into play.
Right. And you have an answer to
like an Emrakul or a Gristlebrand, something like that.
Yeah.
I prefer. It's also something that you could conceivably cast.
Right.
Unlike another answer, say Angel of Despair.
Right, which a lot of.
I like Angel of Despair more, but I understand why somebody might want to play this card.
So the other cards in John's sideboard, he's got 2 Smash the Smithereens and a Shattering Spree. He's got access to Skullcrack. I don't know that that's because it's just such a minor amount of life, it might not matter, but it seems like a reasonable choice. I think.
So the other card I like is Sulfuric Vortex.
Yes.
That's I'm saying one thing that John may not know. So Chris Andersen's biggest card is in this matchup is Chalice of the Void.
Right, which we saw round 1 or game 1.
Shattering Spree, because it has Replicate, the replicated copies do not get countered by Chalice of the Void. We'll see it. We'll see if John knows that or knows to ask the judge. Because I think John should side it in against the Tezzeret deck regardless.
Right. But if that situation comes
up, that's something we can. We'll see if John knows to ask a judge about that. So the other thing I like, you mentioned Smash the Smithereens, fantastic.
Right.
You got to really think about anything that doesn't cost 1 mana. Is probably better than a card that does cost 1 mana. That's why I kind of like Skullcrack over like a more normal card like maybe his Grim Lavamancers can go away, or maybe his he's on the play so Gobbleguite's still good, gets in under it.
There you see Shattering Spree with the Replicate that we were talking about. So the Shattering Spree itself costs 1, but you can replicate for an additional 1. And so what is it? The converted mana cost of those copies?
No. Since it's much like Storm.
Okay.
So Replicate just puts copies on the stack.
Okay.
So those copies are not cast. So Chalice of the Void does not check.
I see.
Does not trigger
Interesting.
on copies of a spell.
That is very interesting. So yeah, Shattering Spree from the original Ravnica block.
Yep. And Guild Pact, in fact.
It's
the
so
original
weird.
will get countered.
Right.
So when you
Because that
replicate,
one
say you
is
replicate
cast.
it twice and you put 3 copies of it on the stack, the original is one of them. Or replicate it twice and you put, Shattering Spree and 2 copies of it on the stack, so there's 3 total. Well, only one of them will get countered.
I see. Yeah, and that would be the original one, right? Very, very interesting little rules scenario that probably doesn't come up a lot, but it's worth knowing, especially in this particular situation.
In each block, there are a couple of mechanics, and like 1 or 2 of those cards from each mechanic might make it into Legacy.
Right.
For example, the Hellbent mechanic only shows up on Infernal Tutor.
Exactly.
So there's a bunch of, anytime you can take advantage of a mechanic with a card, any other card in the history of Magic, you have something potentially very powerful.
Quickly, let's look at Chris's sideboard. We didn't really talk about that much.
We saw him side in this exact matchup, sided in Duress. He has Lodestone Golem as well. He could attack some things. And that's pretty much it. Maybe Vendilion Clique, but I don't really expect Vendilion Clique since all of John's cards are the same.
So we're underway. At turn 1, Arid Mesa fetches up Basic Mountain for John Thiel. He's going to probably cast something like a Goblin Guide here or a Vexing Devil. And there is the Vexing Devil. He has 1 copy of Vexing Devil in his 75, and he's drawn it both games in his opener.
So be
Chris takes 4, which is probably the right play.
Yeah.
I mean, in almost all situations.
He would be taking 4 this turn from the attack.
Exactly.
Had he knocked out it. Chris plays a Darkslick Shores. Not an often seen card in Legacy when when Underground Sea is legal.
Right.
However, there are already 4 Underground Seas in Chris's deck, so these are just additional copies.
Yeah, those I think we usually refer to them as fast lands, the Mirrodin block, or the return. I'm sorry, not return to Mirrodin, but Scars of Mirrodin block. Fast lands, pretty good in Legacy, where the land counts remain
Goblin
low.
Guide, the next play from John, the Grand Prix giveaway.
Yep.
Promo. If you went to a Grand Prix anytime last year, I believe.
And
protected from Force of Will by Pyroblast.
Yeah, Force of Will tries to deal with it. Pyroblast deals with the Force of Will, but Chris does get a land off of it in the form of City of Traders. And a Baleful Strix for Chris. It's going to draw him another card, and it is
Chris Andersen's
Underground
Elvish Visionarying his way to Legacy Open top 8s.
Yep.
So, let's see correctly. I believe. Oh, John has a Smash the Smithereens in his hand. So he can do a couple things. He can either smash the Baleful Strix and attack with the Goblin Guide again, or he can smash the land.
Right.
So suspend Riftbolt. And Chain Lightning you. So he's going to leave the Baleful Strix in play.
And passes back. Interesting.
It's not a bad play if John thinks that Chris can otherwise deal with the Goblin Guide. The Goblin Guide is really all he has. For example, this makes John's play very good.
A second copy of Baleful Strix draws a Tezzeret for Chris. He's going to thinking about which land to play. He's got a number of dual lands, like 2 Underground Seas and a Polluted Delta. He's going to go with an Underground Sea. Didn't catch. We know he has a City of Traders. His hand is full of lands. There's either Rift Bolt, unsuspends, hitting Chris for another 3.
Well, a smash. For John, I would smash the Seed of the Synod, smash the Smithereens, take Chris to 4, and then he has a Flame Rift in his hand to deal the final 4. The other play is just to Lava Spike, but that I like blowing up the land basically.
So Lava
But,
Spike happens.
Yeah,
there.
Chris still on 4. So Chris is in definite dangerous position here. I
And
think
he can't stop drawing lands at this point. He's got a I think he's got a transmute artifact.
Okay.
He's going to attack with one of the Baleful Strixes, and then transmute artifact after getting in there a little bit.
So it looks like he's going to get a Thopter Foundry.
I would imagine that would be the most likely target, being that it can actually gain him some life and hopefully get him out of the woods. Here he is in he's in a really tight spot here. We know that John actually has enough to kill him without that Thopter Foundry.
This could be someone would say if John draws a land, he still cannot cast both of his spells. If he casts one of his 2-mana spells last turn, then he could. So that might be a significant mistake, especially because the Smasher Smithereens probably can't target, probably won't resolve because of the Thopter Foundry.
Right.
And if it doesn't resolve, it won't deal if the target's not there, it won't deal the 3 damage. So there's a land. Still really like John's position in this game quite a bit, but he could potentially run into some trouble. He needs to find at least one more piece of burn, potentially 2, if Chris keeps if Chris can find some extra artifacts.
John trying to figure out what he can do. Obviously not happy with the Thopter Foundry now on the other side of the board. Looks like he's going to go with the smash.
Yeah,
you tap
tapping
the
his
Arid
Arid
Mesa.
Mesa, so just going to tap the other 2 lands. Not a big deal. So it looks
he
like
targeted the Baleful Strix here, and Chris
that could
replaces
be
it.
Yeah,
It's a pretty big mistake.
Yeah, huge mistake.
He was trying to clear a blocker out of the way, wasn't thinking about the fact that Chris, or potentially wasn't thinking about that it just replaces the blocker here. Chris now going to make another blocker in response to the attack.
He's still got a trigger on the Goblin Guide?
Yeah, the trigger on the Goblin Guide is going to reveal. Yeah. I think John already put his creature in the graveyard.
Before it
even revealed. Okay, so it reveals Jace, so no land there. The creatures both block, trading off 2 Thopters for a Goblin Guide. Chris now up to 6 from the 4 that he was originally at. Draws Jace the Mind Sculptor, as we knew was coming. A basic swamp.
The City of Traders uses it, yep.
Yes, City's going away. And Jace the Mind Sculptor comes down. He's going to Fate Seal.
Fate Sealing a burn deck is terrible business. All the cards do the same thing.
Yeah. He puts it on the bottom, whatever it is. I think that the card that he's probably most well, actually it's not that bad. I was gonna say it was Price of Progress. Right now that's just the same, as a Flame Rift. It's just doing 4. He's managed to get rid of 2 other non-basics in the last.
If John can draw a 1-mana spell that deals 3 damage, he will take this game down, I believe. One could even argue that Chris should have played Tezzeret, Agent of Wolves, and plussed it, and attempted to
find another artifact.
Yeah.
Just for the
ultimate for like 6 life.
Oh yeah, just the drain. The drain would be good. Yeah.
All right, so
we're gonna see 1 Flame Rift, and Chris says, "Yeah, I guess
I'm at 2. You're at 12."
Looks like John has something.
I believe it's a land.
Okay, he looked like he was twitching with that mountain over there.
Yeah, I think it was a fake out. It's a Wooded Foothills.
All right, so Chris drawing for the turn, looking at his hand, draws
Tezzeret. So Chris needs to fade literally every burn spell known to man, because they're all in John's deck.
Yeah, he's gonna Fate Seal. He's hoping to see the land there. I don't think he saw land.
I think it's a Smash of Smithereens, however.
Which is fine with him, yeah, because it won't resolve for the same reason the last one didn't resolve.
Oh.
And now he's going to cast Tezzeret.
Probably not a Smash of Smithereens.
Yeah, the fact that he tapped out maybe makes that less likely. Okay, so whatever it was, he left it on top though. So
Goblin. Oh, okay. So he left Goblin Guide on top, made his Thopter Founder into 5/5, but did not attack with it.
Right. Left it back to block, and now Tezzeret going to well, Jace is going to Fate Seal again. That one he says bottom.
Bottom. Baleful Strix to draw. Very good draw.
He's trying to figure out what to do with Tezzeret here.
I think Chris should
plus him.
Plus.
Well, I mean, he doesn't really have any other artifacts right now to target.
You could make that into a 5/5.
Yeah, he could do that. Draws his card.
Not helpful. It's a City of Traders.
I think his hand is all lands and a Tezzeret right now.
Yes.
He's going to go ahead and make the Strix into a 5/5 and attack with the Thopter.
Not a huge fan of that attack. Chris's line.
Yeah.
John has the Goblin Guide as a. He doesn't have the Goblin Guide because the Jace can bounce it. So let's see. This is a big sweat. Burn Spell, Chain Lightning. So Chris is going to have to sacrifice both of his 5/5s.
Yeah. Just to live. Yeah.
Just to live. So he gets 2 1/1s. And now the Goblin Guide can clear those out.
And those can clear the Goblin Guide. Yeah, they can trade with it. So Chris goes to 1, and
it's a Talisman of Dominance.
Talisman of Dominance on the top.
So now Chris has to decide how does he want to. Does he want? He clearly has to block with at least one. Does he want to chump block or does he want to block with both? Because one thing Chris could do is just block with one, and then play Tezzeret, or minus Tezzeret, make 5/5,
play
Tezzeret plus
it. Yeah.
Yes.
I like that line, but Chris is going to just deal with the Goblin Guide. I think though the other line would have left him with
every burn spell.
The other line would have left him with a blocker. He can still, he can't really do what we were thinking. Is he gonna? Well, he's obviously not brainstorming if he's moving to die.
Yes.
And he's not bouncing anything.
It was on 9. Should go to 11. Yes, there he goes.
He's gonna look. He's looking at his hand. Is it a Pyroblast? Whatever it is, he's bottoming it. So, I mean, it could have been a Pyroblast. Maybe he's thinking he can ultimate Jace.
So I actually think Chris's play is still the same. I think you play the Talisman of Dominance.
So he's going to play City of Traders here.
Yes. Make. Yep. Make that a 5/5. Tap your other 4 mana.
Yeah.
It's funny. Usually talismans and signets and things like that don't have summoning sickness. But if you make them a creature, they do.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Yeah, he's looking at his top 5, trying to find an artifact. Finds a Chalice of the Void, which he would have loved to have had a little earlier here. He's still probably going to take it.
Yeah, at worst, it's a 0 mana artifact that he can play.
Yeah.
To ultimate the Tezzeret.
Yeah. Now, if he can live through this turn, he can.
He's going to make it a 0.
Yeah, and he's doing exactly what you said. So
Fire Blast,
and that, woof, man, that was one. That was a heck of a game. You know, it had to happen sometime. There's so many burn spells in that deck.
Yeah, you drew a spell.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it comes down to.
When you do play burn, you do have to sweat a lot.
I want to know what he put on the bottom, because he bottomed something there.
Yeah, and he showed it right after that. Like, I'm not sure what it was. I'd be interested to see.
Out of curiosity, I thought, I got a quick glimpse, and I thought it was a Pyroblast.
I also thought it was a Pyroblast.
Okay, you
but
did.
That may or may not be the case. We'll have to ask the players after.
Yeah, I feel like if it's Pyroblast, it's a weird situation because you're like, well, obviously this card's good, but it doesn't burn me, and I'm at 1. You know, so maybe this is exactly what I like. Let him.
Almost every other spell is worse. So I gotta hope.
Yeah.
Am I gonna hope he's gonna draw land?
Right, like he's gonna either counter something or he's gonna kill my Jace or kill my Tezzeret. You know, like. But
yeah. So I think what a big misstep from John was the Smash of Smithereens, the sequencing of his spells.
Right.
During a couple crucial turns really put him into top deck mode when he had enough. I feel like he just didn't use them effectively enough like I would have used the Smash with Smithereens when he played the Lava Spike.
Now, so say Chris lets him keep the Pyroblast, right? Now, what do you think John hits? The Jace that's on 11 or the Tezzeret? Now, I think the right one is the Tezzeret.
Yes.
Because obviously Chris only at 1. But do you wonder if a player in his first Legacy tournament sees a Planeswalker, on 11, Jace the Mind Sculptor, he's heard it's better than all.
Yeah.
He may have experienced it already.
I mean,
do you feel like you want to kill that Jace?
I mean, I think you can just take a look at the card and you just realize, Tezzeret an ultimate. The ultimate gains him life. That's really scary. I know of at least 2 artifacts in play.
Yeah.
And so I think he has to go with that one.
Oh, it's definitely the right call, just because that was the one that was more likely to get Chris back into the game. But you wonder if he would have seen it, considering Tezzeret isn't played nearly as often as Jace, and is probably less. It was Sulfuric Vortex. Is that what it was? Okay. So it's all moot anyway because it was not Pyroblast. I can see why we thought it looked like Pyroblast because it was Vortex. Obviously, Vortex. Vortex killed him. Well, we're underway, and he's going to shock himself to put a Chalice into play on 1.
John. Good luck.
Yeah, now John can get around this with a ton of 2 casting cost spells. It's just going to be more of an uphill battle.
Looks like he needs a second land. He kept a pretty good 1-land hand, but that assumes he can cast his 1-mana spells. He cannot. So Chris Andersen happy to take 2 damage against the burn deck.
Yeah.
It's going to save him.
I see a Price of Progress. I see a Pyroblast. I see a Chain Lightning. I see Vexing Devil.
Vexing Devil back again. Flame Rift. Looks like
Lava
Flame
Spike
Rift
in there?
Yeah, Flame Rift, Price of Progress are the only 2 mana spells.
Chris's turn. Plays a Dimir Signet after an Underground Sea, and now he's got a Talisman.
So Chris has all the manas. There's a Sulfuric Vortex for John.
But he doesn't have a second land right now.
Correct. Looks like there's a Rift Bolt. Is that a Rift Bolt or a Goblin Guide? I believe it's a Rift Bolt. They could suspend that.
Yeah, that front card?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a Rift Bolt. I'm almost positive now. He's apparently going to try to. I feel like you don't. I mean, I guess maybe he's gonna have to discard, but yeah, should have suspended.
He would have had to discard. Yeah.
Suspended the Rift Bolt though. I guess maybe I wonder if he thinks the Rift Bolt is a 1 casting cost because he's suspending it that way.
Once again, thing about Legacy, if you don't know, ask.
So a thirst for knowledge from Chris Andersen.
Discards Duress and Polluted Delta.
Plays a second Polluted Delta and passes the turn.
Here's a second land. Should see Flame Rift here, I believe. Which means a 3rd land for Sulfuric Vortex could be a really big deal.
Yeah, I think Chris has a Force of Will.
Okay.
So I think he's safe from something like Sulfuric Vortex if he holds it and doesn't blow it on the first 2 mana spell, which I don't think he would.
I did not expect to.
He's at 16 life. He doesn't need to counter a 2 mana spell, 2 mana burn spell at the moment. Even if it were Price of Progress, does Chris have basics? Chris does have basics.
Yeah, there's a basic island, basic swamp.
He can respond and just take 4. Right.
Yeah. 5 with the fetch, but yes.
Right, exactly.
It's not. Yeah.
It's not.
I think Sulfuric Vortex is the only card he cares about right now.
Yeah.
If John draws enough of these Flame Rifts and Price of Progress, he'll start caring.
Exactly.
But actually only needs, two more 2-mana spells to really be lethal.
So you saw Flame Rift actually did happen there. Chris Andersen's turn. Now Jace the Mind Sculptor is gonna Fate Seal. Whatever it was, it's on the bottom.
Smash
I think
the
it was
Smithereens.
Smash the Smithereens, yeah. I almost said Shattering Spree, but I meant Smash the Smithereens. It was the Artifact Destruction spell. He's got a Transmute Artifact in hand to solve that. There's a Chain Lightning.
Yeah, a blank piece of cardboard.
Yep.
Yeah, Smash the Smithereens would have been fantastic.
Right.
For John.
He could replicate and actually destroy the chalices you were explaining earlier. You got a Price of Progress there.
So I think if I'm John, I think I just fire off this Price of Progress end of turn. He's going to do it now. And it's still going to deal 4. That's not bad. I'll see if Chris wants to counter this. I'm of the opinion that he should not.
Right, at this point, he's going to go ahead and do it. And he removes the Transmute Artifact, I believe. It's a Force of Will, the Price of Progress. So that was a gain 3 life, essentially.
Yep.
Because he had to pay 1 for the Force of Will. So here's a
Brainstorm
Jace the Mind Sculptor Brainstorm, yep.
Not a very good one.
Yeah,
I did find another Force of Will,
and
another Jace, and a Sword of the Meek. So I suppose he gets to find a Force of Will.
Right, so he's going to have a force for that Vortex should John draw a land and try to cast it. Looks like he's going to cast that Sword here.
Yep, so the Thopter Foundry, that's the
other
riot gear, as I like to call it. But if you should happen on a Thopter Foundry, Sword of the Meek will let you pay a mana for a 1/1 token and a life.
Yep.
So you get to basically stream of life and put a 1/1 guy into play for each mana you have.
Yeah, basically the way the combo. Well, we'll talk about the combo if it actually happens. There you see Sword of the Meek. Equipped creature gets +1/+2. Pretty much irrelevant. Equipped 2, also pretty much irrelevant. Whenever a 1/1 creature comes into play under your control, you may return Sword of the Meek from your graveyard to play, then attach it to that creature. So what happens is you sack the Sword of the Meek to the Thopter Foundry, make a 1/1, which triggers Sword of the Meek, which comes back into play, and then you can, pay 1, sacrifice Sword of the Meek to make another 1/1, which brings the sword back, and ad nauseum, not the card, just the phrase, and you make as many 1/1s as you have mana or desire.
So Chris Andersen finds a Tezzeret, Agent of Bolus.
You saw the Force of Will there did counter the Sulfuric Vortex as
I believe
we
this should
figured.
tick up. I believe ticking up is faster. Because it has Chalice, Sword, 2 Signets. So we need to find a couple more cards.
But the life gain is really relevant.
Yeah, I think the life gain puts the game out of reach. And he put back either a Signet or a Talisman.
So we could have definitely drawn something.
It would have hit. So it's actually pretty close to winning the game with just basically putting the game out of reach with the Tezzeret Ultimate. Instead, he's choosing to put John on a quick clock.
Yeah, I'd like to ask Chris why he keeps favoring the 5/5s. I mean, 5/5s are pretty good, but it feels like
Rift Bolt
hard
gonna
cast.
bring down Chris down to, but then I think he needs to kill Tezzeret because Tezzeret just makes another 5/5, attacks for 10, and that's
there
lethal.
It is, so.
And Chris Andersen improves to 6-0.
Yeah, him and Tezzeret
with his
Jace.
slow degenerate deck.
Yeah. So very, very, very intense match, and again, Chris defeats a burn deck on camera. Yeah. John Thiel doing really well at his first Legacy tournament, 5-1 now, and he's
still in contention for top 8.
Absolutely.
So
you see, Trinisphere was one of the cards that Chris boarded in. I was wondering.